So we came out of the gates a little bit hot this morning about Mike Zimmer on his hot seat. He is on the hot seat, by the way. And, that debut performance week one against the Bengals, especially against the first half, how sloppy the game was, how many penalties the team had. And no, Zimmer didn't tell the offensive line to go out there and hold and false start. But discipline comes down to the head coach. It comes down to the leader, or at least it's supposed to. If it's not his fault, whose is it? But keep hope alive. That's right. This channel, we try to keep it positive. We always try to look on the bright side. The glass is half full, preferably of high-end tequila. So I think that the Vikings are still sitting in a good spot. Yes, the schedule is tough. Arizona woodshedded Tennessee, and then you got Seattle and Cleveland. 0-4, it's a non-zero chance, right? But the Vikings are much better than what they showed in that first half against Cincinnati. I think the team that you're looking for is much more akin to what you saw in the second half of most of overtime, where the offensive line settled down a little bit. Yes, they give up pressure. Yes, Kirk Cousins still has trouble sensing pressure, but Kirk played pretty well in that second half, especially leading that drive 90-plus yards down the field in crunch time. And that would have been the story if Dalvin had been rightfully ruled down. Greg Joseph kicks the game winner, and everything is hunky-dory. So there were a couple of questions that we had leading into the season that were answered to some degree, where Greg Joseph seems like a legit kicker. Jordan Berry was sort of milquetoast in the beginning of the game, and then had that 63-yard boot in overtime to completely change the field. And then also KJ Osborne is a legit wide receiver 3. The offensive line is still in flux. It is, where every single player on the offensive line, including Brian O'Neill, who just got paid, had a rough day. Had a bad day. They're taking one down, but O'Neal will be fine. Oli Udoh just needs to rein in the aggression a little bit. Actually, no, don't. I am okay with him taking out a dude who's just wrenching on Dalvin Cook's ankle like Von Bell was. Yes, go back and look at the tape. Bradbury was overwhelmed. Ezra is still getting used to his new position, and Rashad Hill, the way that he looked against Trey Hendrickson, and then also Chandler Jones having 5 sacks against Tennessee. Yeah, Christian Dare saw that groin, better be feeling pretty good, baby. Yeah, let's go. But defensively, I think that there is a lot to like. Daniil got loose later in the game. Michael Pierce was getting a nice inside pass rush. He had 2 sacks. He only had 3.5 career sacks heading into that game, which is crazy. So he nearly got half of his career sacks. Everson is getting a push from the inside. DJ Wanham looked good. Kendricks, of course, is doing his thing out there. Hopefully Anthony Barr will be back next week. It is important. Harrison looked good. So I think there are some positives to take away from Cincinnati. Well, throw away the first half, basically. But the offense has to get more in sync, and I think they certainly will. Justin Jefferson has to get used to alpha cornerback 1 plus safety help coverage. But you saw that Thielen 8 against single coverage. You saw the KJ Osborne look good against single coverage. And Dalvin was carrying the load, especially in the first half, because the offensive line was such in tatters that Dalvin didn't have a good yards per carry, didn't have a 100-yard game, but still he was able to get something going because of the swing passes, because of just getting him the ball in space. He was fighting for every single inch, every single yard. And I do feel horrible for Dalvin, where that horrible call that was made in the moment, where not a single ref had a good angle on if it was a fumble or not. They only ruled it a fumble because of how the Bengals players reacted. It was like, oh, we got the ball. And so that was the ruling on the field. And tangent, there should be a spot where refs should be able to say, we don't know. Let's look at the replay. They should not have to make a ruling on the field, because that is so prejudicial to the replay process, because it has to have evidence that to overturn a play, concrete evidence to overturn a call, even if the call was complete foobar and just made up and pulled out of your ass on the fly. Okay, it was made because you didn't want to get booed by the Cincinnati fans who actually showed up. Boo, boo. No. But basically, I know this is a trap door. This is a slippery slope for Vikings fans. It can't get worse. It cannot get worse than that first half, with all the penalties, with all the piss poor play, just completely showing up flat. And when the Vikings faced some adversity and got punched in the mouth, frankly, I think they folded in the first half. They got their ish together in the second half, and they made a game out of it. Cincinnati tried to bangle the game away. But I think the Vikings can use this as a rallying point. It's like, hey, on paper, on purpose, we are supposed to be a high-end NFC team, and we can be, and we will be, but we can't show up like that. So we as professionals have to bring it every single day in training, every single day in practice, every single day in a game. And we can do this. Maybe this was the wake-up call so early in the season, because the veterans on this team have to take accountability. The Patrick Petersons, the Kirk Cousins, the Adam Thielens, Dalvin. They have to just be like, hey, we're doing this. Like, we can't lay an egg like we did on the road in Cincinnati. The fact that we were even in the game, it's incomprehensible. We did not deserve to be in that game late. Cincinnati gave us a gift. It didn't work out. We had to play better than the refs ref. We will going forward. So I actually wouldn't be shocked if the Vikings just go in Arizona and just woodshed Arizona, because the NFL is so stupid and random. Every single week, you really don't know. The whole cliche, any given Sunday. The Vikings completely look like ass against Cincinnati, and Arizona looks so dominant against Tennessee, and they only open as 4-point favorites. And also, remember, you get 3 going on the road. So the odds makers just see Arizona as 1-point favorites over the Vikings at a neutral venue. Okay. All the money's going to go in Arizona. Bet up the Vikings price. Maybe you get the Vikings +7 at kickoff, and then let's go. And then the Vikings go out and win 38-10, because the NFL is stupid and random. It's exactly what happens. But also, technically, the Vikings, since the entire NFC North lost, and the Vikings lost to an AFC opponent, and everyone else lost to NFC, so their in-conference record is already 0-1. The Vikings technically lead the division, which is hilarious. So keep hope alive. Take care of your business. Win at home, split on the road, and then also just win the division. Green Bay look like they're in shambles. Detroit is a long ways away. Chicago ain't ready for prime time, even if they do start Justin Fields. And plus, if they lost Peters and then they start Justin Fields behind that offensive line, now don't do that to that kid. But I know it's tough. But we keep walking on through the storm, and we're going to get there. It's only 1 week. It is a long-ass season, especially since they added an extra game. This team will get their head out of their ass. They're too talented. It's going to happen. Top 5 offense, top 5 defense. Special teams ain't going to kick the Vikings in the nuts. Let's go. That's a pep talk for a Monday morning. Come on, babe. But your thoughts on our thoughts. Keep hope alive. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Pull us up in the Venmo. But until next time, SKOL, production value.